Welcome to the latest episode of the King of the Road Show on Fox 4 KBTV. The King of the Road Show is a national award-winning entertainment-based program produced by Southeast Texans for Southeast Texas.
King of the Road.
Happy Labor Day weekend, and thanks for watching the latest King of the Road Show HD on Fox 4 KBTV. I'm Jim King of the Road, host, producer, and editor of this program. I also co-own King's Country Internet Radio with radio programming icon Mickey Ashworth. King's Country has a king-size playlist of over 2,000 of the very best country songs, past and present, at kingscountry.net. You can stream King's Country for days without hearing the same tune twice. Stream us at home, work, or on the go with your smartphone at kingscountry.net. Sponsored by the Logon Cafe, Guideco Technologies, and Glenn's Express Collision in Beaumont. Stay with me. Coming up during the next half hour, we'll air Jason Aldean's latest music video, Take a Little Ride, on King's Music Clip of the Week, sponsored by Starvin Marvin's Bar and Grill in Beaumont. But first, we'll cruise back to Finch Hutton Restaurant in Beaumont for another installment of Chef's Table.
Extra large and turbocharged. It's the King of the Road Show.
Oh, hi, go to the game.
One man has the power to take you behind the scenes. Jim King of the Road.
Jim King of the Road.
You're watching the latest installment of Chef's Table, our new monthly feature from Finch Hutton Restaurant on Boston Avenue in Nederland. Joining us for great food and conversation this month are Lamar baseball coach Jim Gilligan, Mike Fuljenz, president of Universal Coin and Bullion, Beaumont City Councilman W.L. Pate, retired Southeast Texas radio talk show host Jack Pieper, Marvin Atwood, owner of Starvin Marvin's Bar and Grill, Lumberton-based author David J. Hearne, American aluminum owner Bubba Ainsworth, me, Jim King of the Road, and of course Chef Rafael Ruiz, owner of Finch Hutton Restaurant.
This is a braised rabbit that we're going to be putting on the menu at Thibodeau's. You know, rabbit is a renewable food source that is really, really underutilized.
Well, we know what rabbits do.
Well, they can produce. They can produce.
David Hearne and I used to live in Italy, and this is a big favorite in Italy, isn't it, rabbit?
Well,
They don't have much beef there.
They don't have much beef.
Yeah.
One thing I did want to say here, I think the food, since I've been here 15 years now, when I first got here, I didn't think there's that many choices, but since I've been here, it's just improved immensely. The number of restaurants that have opened up in this area.
Starvin Marvin's.
You get that many choices at Starvin Marvin?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
110 items on the menu.
You travel, I know most of us do. We have the best music in this area anywhere in the entire United States. I guarantee you. Austin has some great music now, but mostly the punk rock scene, it's not what we have here. We have such great talent here. We've had great talent for years.
Forever.
Look at everyone that has come from this area.
We don't fertilize it, we don't water it, but it just keeps coming from here. So there's something here that works.
What we have over here is we have a quail gumbo. It's stuffed with a oyster and andouille sausage rice pilaf. This is something that we're really want to get your feedback on, because it's something that we're thinking about putting on the menu over at Thibodeau's as just a nice alternative. But the quail is actually stuffed with the rice pilaf.
Wow.
Coach, let me ask you a question.
How do you look at it?
Who was being a chef, I had the one cook who I'm most proud of that surprised me and who ended up being as good, if not maybe just a little bit better. I have one guy through my whole career that I'm most proud of. Can you say who was the one guy that you maybe didn't think much of, but just really just at the end of his stay with you, you're just like, man, this is going to be great?
Had a bunch, but I'm so proud of the way that Kevin
W.L did his thing here at Lamar University. He couldn't run. Couldn't throw it real good. Pretty decent defender, but he could hit. And the thing about Kevin is, when you tell him something, it was done. You didn't have to repeat it. And I find myself having to repeat. It's always a sales job for players. You got to convince them that what you're telling them is like if it
Gonna work.
If it made sense to Kevin, he went out and worked on it. And so I coached Kevin for probably a total of 12 minutes in his 2 years at Lamar. But each minute counted. With Kevin. And he would get to work and get it done. Next day he's out there.
How many years was he in the pro?
12 years. 12 years in the pro.
If you'd have coached him 3 more minutes.
Yep, 2 minutes. 3 more minutes. If I would have coached 3 more minutes, he wouldn't have made it. But the thing is, it's fun to watch guys like that. And there have been, I don't want to get into that, who the best is, but that aspect, Kevin probably did as good as anybody. Gerald Clark was another guy that, he only batted 143 his first year and became a big leaguer. Got 70 years in. He's one of our Hall of Honor guys. We have so many guys I don't want to start it, but it's just a privilege to be in this profession.
Just good guys.
Yeah,
to that point, Coach, you've had Kevin comes back and gives back. Many of your players with our Little League teams have given back at camp. Steven Jackson down in Port Arthur gives back to the community. Our musicians, from Tracy to Clay to all they give back. It's amazing how many people across these areas give back to the community once they leave.
Watching Pawn Stars, one of my favorite shows. You ever watch that on the History Channel? I love that show.
Say Pawn Stars again. Jack thought you said something else.
I watched that show.
Not Porn Stars.
That's
Pawn Stars.
Yeah. I was watching that show, and a lady came in with a document signed by Elvis for a concert that Elvis did before he was famous, 1955 in Beaumont, Texas. It's like Pawn Stars today.
Southeast Texas State Fair?
No, he was playing at the Beaumont City Auditorium.
No, City Auditorium.
Elvis was getting paid $250, which was a couple $1,000 in those days, before he was really well known.
We have a braised Brussels sprouts with a little applewood smoked bacon. It's not mashed potatoes you're looking at, it's cream cauliflower.
All right.
And then we have frog's legs with a lemon blanc. But this again is taking something very, very simple, putting a little twist to it to make it interesting.
Will some of this be at Thibodeau's?
Yes, this will be at Thibodeau's.
I love Brussels sprouts.
And there is Terry Bradshaw in the audience at McDonald Gym, packed house. And I'm doing halftime for Ed Dittert. And I said, Ed, Terry Bradshaw, go down and get him. He'll be a great halftime guest. He said, I can't. I said, what do you mean you can't? He said, I have the building custodian on tape. And I promised him he would be on the air this evening.
You are kidding. I know you're not.
I said, Ed, can't we do him next week? He's on tape. He said, no, he told his family he would be on KLVI, or at that point, KAYC, on the air. I said, but we've got Terry Bradshaw. He wouldn't budge. Whether or not you think he was right or wrong, I didn't get to meet Terry Bradshaw. I did not get to interview him. Instead, we played the building custodian at McDonald's.
Jack, I want to toast to that. That is a great story. That's a great story.
Here's the custodian.
And I think they went with the right guy.
Whatever his name was. I think so too.
Whoever he was, and I'm sure he's a fan fellow.
It's the King of the Road show, and you're watching Chef's Table from Finch Hutton Restaurant in Nederland. More later. But coming up next, we'll take a little ride with Jason Aldean on King's Music Clip of the Week, sponsored by Starvin Marvin's Bar and Grill in Beaumont.
You're cruising in the King's Caddy.
King of the road.
Stay connected with the King of the Road show at JimKingOfTheRoad.com. Winner of the Best Website Design and Content at the 2012 Press Club of Southeast Texas Excellence in Media Awards. There's plenty to do, see, and stream at JimKingOfTheRoad.com, including King's Country Internet Radio, segments from this TV show, the contest page, and King's Photo Gallery. Also click on links to Jim's YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter pages. That's JimKingOfTheRoad.com.